Anti-Christian attacks are on the rise in Israel, specifically in Jerusalem. Victims say that the cases that have become public in recent weeks are just the tip of the iceberg. But there are also voices in Israel speaking out against the growing violence. DW correspondent Jan Philipp Scholz meets an abbot in Jerusalem who says that he is a victim of almost daily threats and intimidation.
When Nicodemus Schnabel leaves his monastery in Jerusalem, he has learned to be ready for anything. Every day, people spit in front of him and insult him.
Soldiers are spitting too, in uniform, and this is, people in uniform spitting on you. Now, what shall I say?
A recent video of a nun attacked in broad daylight has caused widespread shock. Many Christians in Jerusalem say that intimidations and harassment have become commonplace.
It's a young monk. They're really spitting on me in the nighttime, in dark alleys without eyewitnesses, because they know if I attack the monk, it's not accepted. Now it's during daylight, people around, and they don't care.
Israeli organizations report a sharp rise in violent attacks on Christians. At the same time, initiatives promoting interfaith dialogue are coming under increasing pressure.
The vast majority of Israelis think it's a very severe incident and these people have to be punished severely. But I think there's no enough condemning from the authorities, from the government, from the politician. The opposite, they're kind of inflaming and inciting the atmosphere.
Critics say that Prime Minister Netanyahu's far-right coalition partners in particular are fueling the tension. Ultra-nationalist politician Hana Bendcowsky, currently security minister, has repeatedly downplayed the attacks on Christians and in the past even justified them.
It's an ancient Jewish tradition that when you pass by a monastery or a priest, you spit. You can agree or disagree, but when you spit to the side, I don't think it's an offense.
As a result, fear is spreading in Jerusalem's Christian quarter. Many residents refuse to speak publicly.
We are afraid because we are alone. We are girls, nobody will help.
There will be more and more problems. No one is trying to solve these problems.
We don't have much hope. Our only hope is our children get better education than what we did, so they can find their future somewhere else.
Many here say they remember when the city was proud to be a holy place for many religions. But those times appear to be over. A recent study found that half of Christians under 45 are considering leaving.
We know how badly we treated Jews, and also we see the really rising phenomenon of anti-Semitism. But this is not an excuse not to look on the realities here on the ground.
Abbot Nicodemus hopes that Jerusalem will continue to have room for Jews, Christians and Muslims. But for that to happen, he says the world must pay attention.
And we are joined now by Hana Bendcowsky, who we just saw in that report. She is program director of the Jerusalem Center for Jewish-Christian Relations at the Rossing Center for Education and Dialogue in Jerusalem. Thank you so much for your time. You mentioned that, most Israelis view these incidents as serious. Why do you think that there's still a lack of strong response from authorities?
Well, I think what we find is that people find it severe and think that people need to be punished, but the authorities are reluctant. I don't know if it's lack of care or if it's laziness or if it's policy or it's somewhere in between. But we unfortunately don't see the law enforced properly in these cases. We also don't find enough condemning from authorities, from mayors, from politicians. Maybe they don't take the problem seriously, maybe they don't care, but we do know that the impact on the communities and on the people here is very hard.
From your perspective, what are the main drivers behind the recent rise in attacks and harassment targeting Christians in Jerusalem?
So I would say we defined two kinds of reasons of background for the attackers. Some do it for religious reasons. So we have some ultra-Orthodox who present their resentment to Christianity that based on theology and history, and they're usually the one who spit and when they pass nearby a church or a priest. And then we have also a combination of religious extremism with nationalism, people who reject otherness within the Israeli society, within the people in the Holy Land. And for them, the Christian or the Palestinian or a foreigner is someone that should not be here. And therefore they present that with attack, verbal attack or spitting or something even worse. Again, we're talking about 4% of the Israeli population who, in the survey we did in September 2025, who said that they support this kind of incident. So 4%, it's a very, very low percent. It's very few people who involve in that, but the impact it has is very big, because the people feel that the community, the lay people feel that if their priest is being attacked, if someone is spitting on their priest, it's like if they're being rejected and pushed out from their homes, from their country. So they feel uncomfortable. They don't feel safe. So either it's because it's a religious thing, pure religious, or it's combined with nationalistic attitudes. For the Christian, it doesn't matter. They feel uncomfortable. They feel being rejected in their homes.
How is rhetoric playing into that? Because, we look at the current political climate. There's certain rhetoric from certain politicians. I'm thinking from the far right. How are you seeing it impacting interfaith relations on the ground as well?
So what we see in the last couple of years is polarization within the society in the Holy Land. So Jews, Palestinians, there's more polarization. There's more mistrust. There's lack of interest in dialogue. There's a lot of fear. And I think politicians are using it. And one of the things that we analyze in our report, our annual report at the Rossing Center, is that this political and social climate encourage people to be more aggressive toward the other, and also more reluctant to come into dialogue. So it could be an interfaith or Israeli-Palestinian. It's always have this both aspect, the national and the religious. That's why we try to combine both and have a dialogue between Israelis and Palestinians, but always relating to the religious aspect. It's becoming more complicated when there's lack of interest, lack of trust, and from the politician and the authorities do not encourage it, but the opposite, they encourage more polarization.
Your organization works on both dialogue and education. What practical steps could the Israeli government and law enforcement take to improve the situation for Christian communities and interfaith dialogue?
So we find that the two ways to change the situation, to change relationship between Jews, Christian, Muslim, Israelis, and Palestinians is, first of all, to bring people together, but also to educate about each other. One of the things that we noticed that Israeli Jews know very little, and again, I will talk about my community, but know very little about the other, about Christians, about Muslim, about the religion, about their connection to the land, about their culture. So you have to know something about the other before you come to meet with him. And through that, you can build relationship and bridges. And the authorities need to encourage that by giving it a space. Now we notice that civil society organization find that their space is shrinked and there's less place for this activity, and we have to encourage the authorities to also to allow this space for these activities to happen.
We want to thank you so much for your time, Hana Bendcowsky, joining us from the Jewish Christian Relation, the Jerusalem Center for Jewish Christian Relations at the Rossing Center for Education and Dialogue in Jerusalem. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.